Hey everyone, Steve Sefcik from Should Have Been Engineering. I thought today we'd touch on water pumps. You know, a typical problem that guys report, particularly anymore because the bike's getting older, is that they're getting an oil leak underneath the left-hand side of the bike. And they don't know where the oil leak is coming from, and of course, who would think that you're going to get an oil leak from your water pump? Well, actually, that's the most common place that you're going to get a leak on the left side of the bike front. So I thought we'd take a look at a couple of different water pumps. I can show you where that leak comes from, and also show you what a bad water pump is, a good water pump, how to do a repair on it. Well, let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, here we have a water pump that has the typical seal problem. Now this is where you're going to see this oil leak coming from, where it originates from. As you can see, this is the back part of the water pump where it plugs into the engine, and it has a seal right here. Well, that exactly is the problem. It's that seal. If you notice, this seal is coming out of its bore. You can see how it's stepped out probably about 2 millimeters. And I haven't tried this, but I might be able to finish picking it out with my finger. Yeah, it's come a little bit, but I could probably pick that right out of there with my finger, okay? Now, here's where the problem is. These water pumps, and this is actually a pretty common problem, they'll spit this seal out. And once this seal spits out, oil will go in through the bearing, and it will come out on the bottom side of the water pump right there. And that is the weep hole. So when this is in the engine, that's oriented down like that. And when you start seeing oil coming out, look to that little small hole. Can you see that? Let me get that. Okay. Look to that hole, and if you see oil coming out there, you have a failure of this seal right here. I actually had a water pump here that was demonstrating some wetness. I don't know if that's going to show up with the lighting as it is. Can you see that shiny area? That's actually some oil that had come out there. Same thing when you have an issue of oil getting by that seal. Now, that's not to say that the only time that you have a failure of the water pump, it's going to be from this seal. You can actually have a fully failed water pump like this one here. Look at this. Can you hear that? That's actually play because the bearing inside the water pump has gone bad. Now, a couple of things are going to happen. First of all, when you have a water pump that's actually gone bad like this one, when you have that shaft wobbling around, that's going to let some oil by. That's one place where oil can come out. But the seal on this side also is compromised, and eventually you're going to start having water coming out there. I have seen, and I don't understand how it happens, because if you have pressurized water coming out here, it should be able to vent out the weep hole. But I actually have seen on 2 occasions water go through the water pump and go into the engine oil. So if you have water in your engine oil, look to your water pump. Now, there is a nice, inexpensive fix, assuming that your water pump isn't in this shape. You get to this shape here, you just have to replace the water pump. And no, they're not rebuildable. If you have a good water pump and it's not exhibiting any play at all like that on the shaft, and the only problem that you're having is the seal is dislodging, it's actually very simple to fix. All you need to do is take the seal and you can pop it out. I would then clean the inside of that bore very carefully. I'd use some brake clean to make sure that you didn't have any oil residue. And you can use this seal from Kawasaki and press that seal in. And what you want to do is just touch on the outside edge all the way around with some red Loctite and set the seal. You want to push the seal in oriented as this one is, and you want to press it in so it becomes flush with the housing of the water pump. Give it 24 hours to set up, and then go ahead and install the water pump. You'll probably not have any more problems with that water pump seal dislodging. Alright, so there we have it. Really, it's a pretty simple unit. The failures are actually pretty slight. Let me touch, just as we finish up, a lot of people will mistakenly think that that oil leak is originating from this O-ring. You know, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I've never seen it. Of course, if that O-ring was to split, yeah, that would be a place for it. But always go and look at that weep hole, because if you see oil in the weep hole, you know where the problem is coming from. Alright, as always, if you own a Concours, join COG and come see me at Should Have Been Engineering.